Hey there, I'm Becky,
And I'm Lindsay.
and we finally hit record on our candid conversations around conscious parenting.
We're here to talk about all of it
Ugly parts included.
and share our raw experiences and imperfect insights as we're doing parenting.
Pretty conscious.
In this episode, we're talking about protecting work, protecting our own work, and protecting our kids' work. We're also talking about why it's such an integral part of our parenting practices. If you want to skip trinkets, start at around 14 minutes. All right, let's dive in. Hi.
Hi, friend. Welcome back. We're here.
Ready for trinkets?
Let's do it. Let's dive right in. Something that I have been noticing in myself a lot lately is just this wavering capacity that on the whole, it's not like I'm running at super low capacity for things. It's just for very certain things that I have super low capacity for. And then other things feel totally fine and totally easeful. And that's just been interesting. Okay.
Have you noticed a pattern between which things?
That
sounded sassy.
No.
Have you noticed a pattern?
So, have you thought about it at all, Becky, so you could do something about it?
Let me try again.
No.
It's meant to be curious.
I understand. I understood
Which
it as
kinds of
curious.
things?
Yeah.
Are hard and which kinds of things are easy, or is it just random?
Mostly being at home is the thing that makes me run at lower capacity currently.
Mm-hmm.
Being out of the house feels super spacious. In so many ways. I can hold so much more for for myself, for all the other kids I'm with. I can hold so much more presence and joy and playfulness, and I'm finding a lot less capacity for that at my house.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think there's probably lots of reasons why, but I don't know. And so what I've been doing is just not being home. But what I'm noticing now, reflecting on it in this moment, is that maybe I need to put a little bit more energy back into being home. Because I don't want to burn out of being out.
Yeah.
And also not being home means that we run out of our routines of being home.
Yeah.
And so then it all feels even clunkier. So I think there maybe just needs to be a little bit more balance, or maybe it's fine in this season. I don't know. TBD. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'll let you know.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
Relatable.
Yeah. Just feels so good to be out and doing things with the kids. I know we were talking about that on Monday.
Yeah.
When we were out at the creek with all the kids. And
it's almost like this is the whole point.
Exactly.
And also just feeling the privilege of it.
Yeah.
Even though it comes at a cost, it is such a privileged thing to be able to have access to the creek so close and be able to mess around for a half a day.
Yeah.
And understanding that it's a hugely privileged
a
spot to be in.
Yeah,
it felt great.
Yeah. That's so true.
Glad we get to.
Yeah.
And much easier to appreciate that than the massive pile of dishes in my sink and other more important stressors at home.
I feel ya.
I'm just so resourcing from the creek.
I know.
She was just sitting there with the cold water and the kids laughing and splashing around.
Yeah. I love the idea of pulling resourcing from that moment, because yes. That's
harvest
just
it.
So nice to sit there and it just felt so present. Yeah. It was so nice. I'm wondering if you would be willing to do a short little bloop of
oh, you know how well I blew?
Yeah.
How I bloop.
Just bloop a little bit.
We'll see.
Of what it means to like, or how people can resource from a like small glimmer moment. I know that that's like a whole conversation of glimmer and glow and all of that like sinking in.
Yeah.
But even just like
micro.
yeah, even just like what it means to
yeah.
resource, I think could be helpful for people.
I think resourcing essentially is tapping into the things that you know help you feel more connected to yourself and connected to maybe what is real. I think that feels like an important part of it. And if you don't know, because a lot of us are floating outside of our bodies a lot of the time, especially in these like very loud, very hectic, chaotic seasons of parenting. So easy to check out, but like a lot of things we can lean on for strength giving purposes are like sensory experiences, sensory calming tools, but the things that help us feel rejuvenated and recharged. Utilizing a glimmer as a resource. For one, like, we don't have to harvest everything. I hope you could pick up in my tone earlier. Like sarcasm. It's just like the anti-capitalist in me is like, yeah, we must harvest this thing for everything it can give us. Glimmers can just be.
Yes.
Right? And if we want to flag something as a potential resource for a future tricky season or tricky moment, glimmers are a great place to resource from and ground into. And glimmers are essentially just the opposite of a trigger. Instead of those moments where time freezes, it just feels like time stands still and it slows down, and this moment could last forever, and time just ceases to exist. I'm not frozen in this all-consuming moment. It's like time slowed down so I could take it all in. It's those moments that are rejuvenating and allow us to become closer with ourselves rather than those trigger moments that pull us out of ourselves and that we need to escape from. Glimmers are those moments we could sink into for forever. And they can just be a split second like that, like sitting in the when we committed to just sitting in the water in our not swimsuits and just playing with the kids and just being there.
They can even be like even tinier moments, even of
micro,
like even a butterfly floated by. Or, you know, just little teeny, like your kid looks over with a little boop in their eye and all of that can
and it's the feeling.
Yes.
I think that's
like the actual like sensation feeling.
Yeah, that a glimmer is an emergent property of a moment. It's not this moment checked the boxes for things that I like to do. It's I felt in that moment. I felt a wave of presence.
I always think about like what it does to my nervous system. And like when I think of like trigger versus glimmer, that like trigger sets my nervous system on fire. And glimmer just allows me to like be.
Totally.
Love it.
Thanks
for bringing that in. I know that just that idea of like resourcing from particular moments can be helpful, but then also novel. Like it was novel to me not too long ago. So
totally. And I think a big part of resourcing is like taking the time to do the exploration to find out what can actually be a resource for you. When I first learned about it's huge difference knowing about sensory calming tools or knowing about ways to resource, and actually taking the time to go through the practices and go through the vulnerability of trying and maybe realizing that, hey, breathing techniques don't actually work for me, or that breathing technique doesn't actually serve me as a resource. So I think that's a super important part.
Is the like experimentation with.
It's just more ways to know more about you. And grow self-awareness.
Love it.
I have a micro trinket.
Share. I was just about to ask if you had one.
It's like a maybe 1 or 2 sentences.
Let's hear it.
Okay. Historically, cleaning tasks around the house have been things that are requests and not demands. But over the last little bit, I've been trying to tie in the family value of personal responsibility into the like how we care for our space kind of thing. And I've been getting so frustrated. This is not 2 sentences.
Bring it on.
I've been finding myself so activated in those moments where I'm like, guys, I'm trying to take care of our space and like nobody's willing to contribute. What? And ties into our topic for today about whose work is whose and whatnot and what everybody's work looks like. However, I started after you and I tackled my room. Thank you for body doubling.
Loved it.
That was really a hard one for me to overcome. Thank you for being here so I could actually take care of my space.
I'm so glad we could.
Me prioritizing that. He's been taking such personal responsibility for he and Middle Henry's room, and it's just been really cool to see. And every time I just hear the language, I hear I know you're doing your work in play, and I really want to take care of our space. If you're willing to support that, great. And if not, I understand. It's just like, what is... And this is like, I mean, we're on day 2 of this happening.
But who knows how long. But even still, like, there's something of that there, regardless of if it's like, you know, oh, this is going to be forever. No, probably not.
Right.
But he at least is seeing some value in it.
And it's just like, even that amount of cleaning, not because it's expected of him or he's obligated to do so or whatever, but just sets... I can just see down the line the potential for him to have a relationship with caring for his space that is not riddled with stress and like freezing up and shame and triggers left and right.
Yeah.
And that just is really lovely, because cleaning and caring for a home can be such a surprisingly loaded topic.
Seriously. What the heck?
Yeah.
That's so true.
Yeah. So anyways,
very cool. Thanks for sharing.
There've been a few glimmers in there, and I just like stoked.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, and even like I'm just hearing in all of that, just even like holding it within the container of now, and you know, all of it.
And he's asking for support.
Yeah,
like, he's asked for support a number of times. Of like, oof, I got in a little deep, Mom. I'm wishing I had waited until you were available to support my efforts.
Aww.
It's so funny because the language that I use, it sounds so, I don't know, stuffy?
Like formal,
I don't know.
Yeah.
But this is the way that I talk. And it's always been the way that I always have talked to the kids. And so it is our normal. So it would feel weird.
Yeah.
It would feel inauthentic to like water it
casualize
down, dilute it. Yeah. Yeah. So weirdly.
Yeah, that's so true, but it is totally just the way that you communicate.
Yeah.
And I love how language patterns like just ripple, because like I use some of it, and I see it in the kids, and now my kid uses it, and some of the people that I nanny for use it, and
it's like the specificity of language. Like, why would I say a different word if this is the word that I mean?
Yeah,
this is the perfect fit word.
Yeah, that's what, speaking of,
I'm just going to use that word and teach the kids what it means.
Yeah,
and I can teach them using simpler words. But this is the word I mean.
Yeah,
so I'm just going to say that
word. Speaking of how language like ripples
permeates
out, that like brings us to our topic today.
Yes.
Of protecting work and what that means, and I picked that up from you, one of the million things that I have, and I was actually meeting with the parent of one of the kiddos that I used to sit for. We went out for coffee this morning, and she was sharing about the idea of protecting work and how it's just become such a staple in their house between her 4.5-year-old and her 1.5-year-old. And that, and like even like she uses it. It's just so cool to hear how it's like permeated out. So I'm excited to talk about it here, because it really is, there's so many amazing components to it.
Yes.
But
I was thinking about all the ways that it might go.
Yeah.
And I'm just excited
Uh,
for the conversation because it's such an odd thing
That was
because
one of
we've
those-
never formalized it. And I think I even brought it up to you. I was like, is it even on our list of topics? Could it be? Is it just obvious? Or is
Yeah.
it something that we could definitely talk for.
definitely talk for a while about
Yeah.
it. Yeah. Well, and the fact that it's one of those things that we never really talked about, that
No.
just like speaks to even just like that language transfer and how it just like has a life of its own.
Totally.
So, protecting work.
Mhm.
I don't even know where to start. It sounds like so little, but it isn't.
I feel like, okay, protecting work, I think, is pretty self-explanatory.
Sure, yeah.
Right? It's a family value for us.
Mm-hmm.
We
Us too
protect
now.
each other's work.
Yeah.
That's one of our family agreements. And it's non-negotiable
Mm-hmm.
for our family.
Yeah.
And feels so vital in the like young kids, especially with siblings, or if you have a lot of kids around.
Yeah.
But even not. But the part that I think is profound about it or novel about it is what we're defining as work.
Yeah.
And how truly we're respecting it.
Yeah.
Protecting it.
There's such an undercurrent of like mutual respect in this idea of like protecting each other's work.
Mm-hmm.
And how it starts. Like, it's been so cool with your little Henry to get to see you do this from literally day one.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, let's rewind, Becky. Let's go back to like defining work. Yeah. Which I don't think I've ever like actually stopped to like define work itself. I know there's like I know all the things. Like it's one of those, I know it when I see it.
Right. Yeah.
So there's like a play is the work of childhood. I think Maria Montessori, Fred Rogers, like so many people have said that, right? And so like that's been in my wheelhouse of like play is kids' work.
Yeah.
But I never brought it in this concept or took it down as low as brand new babies too.
Yeah. I think for kids, I think that's the more radical part of it.
Yeah.
Is respecting. I think the two things come to mind: play and child-led learning and exploration,
which I categorize under play.
Yes, agreed. And some people might not.
Yes,
have such broad
absolutely.
definition of play.
Yeah.
And really, what it comes down to, though, if you want to create a broader umbrella, for me, it's the things that you choose to put energy and effort into when it's not required. Or and that's
even if it is required.
Even if it is required, but the things that you are putting effort into,
especially
that are
like, you
important
care about.
to you. Because there's plenty of stuff that we do that it's fine.
Don't care
Whatever.
about.
And the same thing for our kids. We don't have to save every piece of art. I save the ones that are important to them. And how do I know which ones are important to them? I ask. Or they show me with how much effort they're putting into it.
Yeah.
And even then, sometimes it's fine. But when they're
sometimes
pre-verbal,
we do have to.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you end up like me. Every single one is an important, like every single piece of art is important work. And just because I don't save it doesn't mean that the process of creating that art was not important work.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's
the outcome important. Is the outcome of
was the outcome important to the work or not? Because sometimes it isn't outcomes oriented.
Totally.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Absolutely. And so then it's the idea of protecting their work. And it's not one-sided. Our family agreement is that we are also protecting the work that I do. We are also protecting the work that Dad does. And we're willing, the family values piece is we are willing to set limits around things that impact other people's work. And so for my baby Henry, for my littlest Henry, well, guys, she's working on moving those puzzle pieces from one box to another box. That's important work. She's working right now.
Yeah.
Please don't come and pick her up and take her away. She's working.
Yeah.
we're going to protect her work, just like we are protecting your play. So when she moves on from picking up puzzle pieces and she moves on to taking markers out of your hand as you're doing art, I'm going to protect your work.
Yeah.
And I'm going to help her find another way to meet that need and continue her work.
Yeah.
And the same goes for, obviously, it just extends to our work, which I think a lot of us are protecting the adults' work in the home, but are we turning around and protecting our children's work as well?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just the respect piece is that I'm allowing what's happening in you and what's important to you to impact and influence me.
Yeah.
I'm staying open for that.
Mm-hmm.
And so are we going to do it perfectly every time? No, sometimes we do need to take down the mega fort that we built in the living room / kitchen / dining area of our house, which is all the same place.
The picture was so good, though.
And we can snap a picture of it. I can commit to doing it again next week.
Yeah.
And again, like where was the value?
Mm-hmm.
Where was the value in the work? A lot of it was just the process.
The process of it, the collaboration, the feeling of doing it together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been talking a long time.
That's okay.
I'm feeling the desire to just for a while.
Lob it over.
Yeah.
As you're talking, the part about seeing kids and the things that they do purposefully as inherently valuable feels more radical than it should.
Yes, agreed.
And it's so fucking beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And it really just I feel my chest ballooning. And framing it, having this language and framing it that way and following through on the protection of kids' work, the protection of their play, regardless of if we understand it.
Yeah.
I think that's such a big piece because there are so many things that play schemas, which are just the impulses that kids have where they are repeating an experiment over and over and over again to learn things about how the world works. So that could be if your kid is lining things up, if they're throwing their food off the high chair. There's so many different schemas, if they're rotating, spinning in circles, if they're hanging upside down off the couch, all of those things fall into different play schemas. And a lot of times it's hard to see what's the point of this?
Right.
And in so much of kids' play, what's the point of this? I don't see why you're doing this.
Yeah.
And this idea of protecting work means we don't have to understand why.
Yeah.
We just have to believe that it is. And it's believe kids. Trust kids. It's your favorite thing to do. It comes back Henry. To it.
Yeah.
Big Henry's wisdom.
Totally.
And having the language to frame that, and then, like I was saying, the follow through of actually protecting our kids' work, and protecting between kids, protecting it from other things, from other it really does. I have found create a deep, I have a deeper respect for children because of this practice.
Yeah.
And I wasn't starting from a baseline of not respecting kids, and this has deepened it even more. And so I really think that it's a pretty profound thing.
Yeah.
And I think that it's also just a really helpful language frame to handle those conflicts.
Yeah.
And as you start to do it more and the language becomes integrated, the kids start to ask for it.
Yeah.
They start to tell each other, no, this is my work.
Yeah.
They start to see value in what they are doing.
Yeah.
And how they are being and how they are playing. And it just deepens so much.
Yeah. 1,000%. And it's a scalable thing.
Yes.
I can use this same language when they're 25. This is language we can use continuously because it's not minimizing what they're doing. It's not infantilizing what they're doing, even though they are sometimes literally infants, but it's respecting the process. It's respecting the learning. It's respecting where they are at all the way through. And a lot of times there's so many different things to come
I know.
to here. I'm just going to say them all now and then
Okay.
maybe.
We can.
Yes.
Great.
So I'm thinking about what we need to protect work from because it goes far beyond protecting it from each other.
Yes. Uh-huh.
And also how important it is. I think this is maybe one and the same topic, but how it's okay for us to have work that we also lead and engage them in. And that can't be the only thing. I want to talk about that first.
Okay.
So I think it's really helpful for me to think about, and this is a lot of like how we arrived at this, putting myself in my kids' shoes. If we truly are respecting kids' play or their child-directed activities, their self-directed activities as their work. I'm thinking back to my time in corporate, in a corporate job, and thinking about if I had somebody coming to me every few minutes, or every time I had sunk deep into a project and had somebody coming over, just the amount of micromanagement. If I just role reversed, and I said the amount of micromanagement that I would do if I were not putting some limits on myself to protect their work. Sometimes protecting their work is protecting it from me, wanting to micromanage, wanting to redirect them into something that I deem more valuable.
Yeah.
And that's, I just put myself in their shoes. Oh my gosh, no. I would have burnt out and quit that much sooner.
Yeah.
But it is so, it requires so much of a paradigm shift, I think, for a lot of us. Because I think a lot of us are defining our role as parents as being the ones who decide what work you're doing as a child, what work you should be doing as a child.
Is important.
Yeah. And I think one of the elements of protecting that we're protecting their work from is the overscheduling, the chronic overscheduling, the lack of unscheduled time that we have in our day. That absolutely has to be a priority if you value protecting their work.
Yeah.
And just what can blossom. It just reminds me of the whole, what is that? I don't know what, it's like a little cartoon sketch of like a fish and a monkey and some other.
I have no clue.
You have no other? Okay. It's like a fish and a monkey and another animal who doesn't really climb, but might do okay.
This is the Einstein quote.
Hey,
if you judge a fish, if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it's gonna live its whole life thinking it's stupid.
Yeah.
Is that the quote that you're thinking?
I think it sounds like a similar cartoon. Okay. But there's a cartoon that I'm seeing in my head of like, and we're gonna test you on your ability to climb a tree now.
Yeah.
But like this is how we're gonna decide.
Yeah, that's an Albert Einstein quote.
Yeah, sounds right.
You know.
I don't know. We'll find it and put it in.
It was my
in the show notes.
It was my old principal's his like email signature was like always his name and then that quote. So that's why I know it's
love that. That's awesome.
Anyway, sorry.
No, you're good. But I just feel like it's so much the beginning steps of, again, like trusting our children and allowing them the space to develop in the direction that is authentic for them.
Yeah. And to get to know themselves, they have to have that time to play with the world.
Yeah.
And feel what it feels like to be bored and feel what it feels like to follow their own whims.
Yeah.
To get to know themselves.
And I think it's so important for motivation, for intrinsic versus extrinsic motivation.
Yeah.
Allowing them to get so deep in their work that they are then motivated by the process of their work, that allows them to build the tenacity and the fortitude to push on through things that are challenging way more effectively than us saying, well, you got to do it because I said.
Yeah.
Because of arbitrary reasons, and you better dig deep and find the motivation somewhere, versus connecting with the feeling of motivation first, connecting with the things that you can resource from in those like really valuable years.
Yeah.
That is also valuable. giving them the opportunity to engage in a process in their work so deeply that they encounter all of the challenges that we would like to set up for them.
But naturally.
But it just
and then
happens.
in a way that they care about the
Yeah.
process of working through them.
Yeah. And it's future resources for them. So in those moments where we do take them and we say, hey man, we got to help you get prepped. You're going to start school, and there's things you're going to have to push through that are not going to feel super great.
Yeah.
Maybe. And I'm wondering what times you can think of where you already have done that.
Yeah.
What would you have done if you were in Minecraft and you were trying to get through and you were trying to build this like castle and it just like wasn't working out for you? What would you do?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about that. How did you push through when you didn't think that you could?
Yeah.
And it's just like those things are already there. We don't actually have to construct them out of thin air.
Mm-hmm. I think that's like such a thing. Oh, this could go in so many directions. I'm just like so lit up by this conversation. It's like bringing me back to all my like play research days. Just one of the things that kept coming to mind that I want to point out after you were just talking about like how important it is to protect that unstructured time and to let kids sink in is that sometimes it takes kids a really long time to actually sink in to that self-motivated play. And that period of not sinking in can be really uncomfortable for us and them.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be like those moments where it's like you start offering all the options or you sit down and start playing with them, which there's a place for all of that. I'm not like
there's no vilifying
yes
that.
Exactly. But that idea of the unstructured, like allowing them to follow, or sometimes they just need a little bit of a start and then it like takes the right turn and that's fine, like fade into the back or support that right turn. That just was coming to mind of that, like it taking a while to sink in. That at Ease Preschool they talk a lot about that on like parent ed nights and stuff of how there are kids who for the first 2 months of the school year basically just observe, who basically just stand and watch the other kids play, but that is their work and it's valuable, and they're not going to get anything from an adult bringing them around and being like, well, how about this, play with this, here, come do this, because like what they're doing is figuring out where they are. And that doesn't mean that we're not guiding and offering regulation and like belonging and all of that. It just is trusting kids' process and offering open guidance. It's like like back in all my teacher stuff, but like this, you want to be the guide on the side, not the sage on the stage. And that's sort of what it is in situations like this of we're just offering guidance. And like a lot of that guidance just comes from environment. And that environment includes the unstructured time. Like time is an environment. Is a part of it.
I think so many, like if we talk about the language of it, a lot of times it's coming in and just periodically asking, hey, is there any way that I can support your work? Let them guide me. And especially, it's a differentiating tool for the kids too. I'll share an anecdote. When we were headed out to the creek, and Big Henry brings his trike, like his push trike,
giant trike,
and he's asking me to load it up into the car for him. But we are not taking this to the creek. Mom, this is a really important part of my work. We gotta take it, if at all possible. Okay. Okay.
Let's figure it out.
Let's see if we can make that happen. Are you willing to take some of the work off of my plate from your other requests to go get dry clothes so that you have something to change into afterwards? And because then it brings in the mutual respect piece and the honoring of all of our work. Because I think a lot of the times, as much as we value unstructured quality time as a family, and that time where we are engaging and present with our kids' play,
Mm-hmm.
unstructured play, child led, letting it being there for the process.
Mm-hmm.
The reality is we all don't have endless capacity, and for the kids to truly respect the work that I do and the energy that I put in and the effort that I put in to the things that I'm doing,
Mm-hmm.
they also, again, it's like the motivation thing. They have to feel that respect also.
Yeah.
So what do I do when they tell me, hey, this is my work?
Yeah.
How do I show my respect for that? How do I model what it looks like to recognize the value of somebody's work
Mm-hmm.
and protect it with them?
Yeah.
And what a connective thing.
Mm-hmm.
So the next time, I mean, and again, it's with developmentally appropriate expectations.
Yeah.
And you can't force respect.
No.
You can force the performance of respect. You can't force true respect.
Yeah.
And so, it might take until they're 7, or it might not come.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Or maybe you see it with other people, but not with you, because you're the one that, like...
Yes, this emerged, this whole thing about the cleaning component and the caring for a space emerged in the play-based classroom well before it emerged here at home.
Yeah.
And it might go again, and who knows? Who knows what happens? But I want to nurture the soil for this thing to take root however it will.
Yeah.
I would like to set the intention of modeling how I hope that they will bring it into their adult lives.
Yeah.
I would love, and I don't necessarily, I think it's really common for even between adults for us not to truly respect each other's work.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's feeling entitled to somebody's time or their energy, but how many times a day, maybe not a day, but how often are you saying to your partner, how can I support your work? Yeah. Whether that's like, hey, can I take on bedtime routine alone tonight so that you can just focus because I know you've got something stressful coming up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Etc.
Yeah.
But I think absolutely we can offer that to our children as well.
Well, I think that's like, that's such a powerful thing of bringing it back to how we protect our work as adults. I want to say one more thing about protecting play for kids and the like micromanaging example that you give, and then we'll jump back to
that. Sounds good.
Okay. This idea of, like, so often I think that parents, and I include myself in this, fall into this idea that, like, we need to, in order to be good parents or to be doing good parenting, we need to be engaging in our kids' play in a certain way.
Yeah.
And that ends up becoming that, like, micromanaging where then it's no longer theirs. At some point. And it's not to say don't play with your kids. Like, playing with kids is such a powerful thing. But having it be real, authentic engagement when you do, or in support of what they're already doing. So I love that, like, question of, like, what can I do to support your work?
Mm-hmm. And sometimes the answer is leave me alone.
Yeah, okay. Exactly.
Got it.
But I think that so often what people do is they fall into quiz mode with kids. Yes. Is, what color are you using? How many of those did you use? How tall is it?
Yeah. And I love the intention.
I was gonna say, I see now, exactly. I see, like, so many, like, bids for connection and wanting to engage with their kids. But when you take it into the context of, like, if that was me deep in focus in my work and I had somebody coming over asking me little questions that had nothing to do with the actual work that I was doing, how, like you said, you would have burnt out so fast at your corporate job. And so, like, I'm not trying to bring any shame into it, just awareness, because I mean, I like I said, I include myself in that because I often also fall into that, like, I should be doing something. And then those are the first questions that come, or the first ways to engage that come.
Yeah. And just the gentle invitation of, and what if instead, with that same motivating energy
Mm-hmm.
with that same energy behind you of wanting to understand more deeply. What if you just go in and observe and just
Yeah.
see and maybe offer the, hey, are you open to sharing with me about your process?
Yeah.
What feels important to you about what you're doing?
Yeah.
I'd love to know if you feel like sharing now or later or never.
Mm-hmm.
Just the open-ended of like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
But if you just just be there,
Yeah.
just pay attention to what they're doing without our input well before we open up the questions.
Mm-hmm.
That interrupts what they're doing. I mean, especially when they're deep in work.
Yeah.
It's like, and couldn't wait.
Yeah.
Couldn't wait until they've like.
And sometimes the answer is no, and that's
right.
fine.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But you can kind of see when they move out of that
flow.
Yeah.
That, like deep flow.
When they shift into something else, that's a great opportunity. Or like, they emerge because now they're hungry. Okay, cool. Over snack.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I saw what you were doing over there.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to know more
about
what was going on with all that. Here's what I saw. What else was about it?
Yeah.
That's like a kid history reference from forever ago, but it still lives in my
repertoire.
Language. Yeah, it's just, and what else is about it?
Yeah, what else is about it? I love that.
Just tell me more.
Yeah, tell me more. Tell me about it. Yeah. It reminds me of one of my favorite like ECE presenters, Lisa Murphy, always talked about how the best teachers have the deepest teeth marks on their tongue or something, just from like biting their tongue in all those moments that like
pocket
we want
prints
to
on
jump
their
in.
hands.
Yes, exactly.
Sitting on my own.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We will have more play episodes, but the thing that's coming up right now that I just have to share because it emerged, it came barreling out of me, is that so often play is not efficient. And as an adult who lives in a capitalist world, that can be really uncomfortable to watch. Yeah. And that's when I find I need to bite my tongue and sit on my hands the most, is when I'm watching my kid do something in a way that I know they can do 10 times more efficiently.
Yeah.
And that's not what play is about. Play is not about efficiency.
And you step in and you want to go into teacher mode. And that's not it.
That's as much because it's not their work.
And here's what I go to. I go to when I was dating a person that was not well suited to me. And my parents really wanted it to be over. Mm-hmm. And they demanded it be over again and again and again. And they had to keep demanding it because I just kept going back to it. And of course, that's not the ideal. Yeah. But I wonder what would have happened had I been able to explore it, and had I been guided into self-reflection. Yeah. To come to the learning on my own. Yeah. And I think that's such like an angsty teenager thing to feel. Yeah. But just imagine that angsty teenager in our toddlers, in our infants. Oh my gosh, the number of times I watch baby Henry do the same thing over and she
like those deep
sticking her finger in that lid that has like the quarter straw hole, and she's just putting her finger in and just and like, baby, how many times are we gonna do this one? Because and she's not actually getting harmed. No. It's just like a frustration of like, this thing is on me now.
It keeps happening.
Yeah. And absolutely I could take it away from her, and guess what happens when I take it away from her? Rage. Yeah. That's her work. She's trying to figure something out there.
Yeah. And eventually she will figure it out.
Yeah. 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 And it is that sturdiness in me to like
sit with the discomfort.
And why is it so uncomfortable to watch somebody learn? Somebody in the active process of learning, which looks like struggling.
Yeah, which to us looks like struggling, but a lot of times if you talk to a kid who is in that quote unquote struggle, they're actually fine.
Yeah, it's like that. It's that like kids are not afraid of the dark until we project that onto them. Yeah, that maybe they should be. Yeah, it's that whole thing. Kids have already so much inherent fortitude. for the things that they feel sincerely and authentically motivated to engage in.
Mhm.
And that's the work.
Yeah.
What are the things they're choosing to do over everything else?
Mm-hmm.
Because that, wherever that is, wherever they're most motivated, is where the most learning and the most development is going to happen.
Yeah, that's where all of the like coolest brain stuff is happening.
Yeah.
And like the biggest leaps
And different areas of the brain getting connected,
Yeah.
but all of those things, all of those skills that they build in this maybe niche area are things that you can take out to all of the other areas with time.
Especially
in due
if they've
time.
learned it through play and self-discovery, because then they truly know it. Like
Yeah.
if you think of the things that you have a self-interest in,
Yeah.
those special interests of yours that you have done because you're self-motivated,
Right.
those things you remember, you learned.
Mm-hmm.
But like, what's the capital of all 50 states? I don't know. Like that didn't matter to me, but I had to learn it for school.
Yeah.
And so it's like there's like the deep learning and knowing.
Yeah.
I think knowing feels like the right word there. That happens when you have discovered something on your own.
Yeah. And it's the same thing as, we talk about, I mean, even in the resourcing conversation that we were just having. Sure, maybe I know, in parentheses, or in quotations, a lot of different strategies for sensory calming.
Yeah.
But until I'm actually doing it from a place of I want to learn this, I now am curious. I am now driven by curiosity, and thus it is an act of play because I'm actually pursuing it.
Yeah.
Now I know. Now I feel.
Yeah.
Now I understand, and I'm deeply connected to the learning.
Yeah. That's the Ease Preschool. Bev Boss was who created it. She's also who created the Trinkets song that we got Trinkets from. The like one of her most famous quotes is, "Experience is not the best teacher, it's the only teacher."
Yeah.
And it's like you have to like really experience it, and that doesn't mean that there's not an opportunity for us to like teach and guide and stuff too, but like to really like that deep knowing happens through experience.
I think the most profound moments where I can effectively step into a teacher role is when the thing is already happening and you're already experiencing it one way, and then at bedtime we're telling a story about that experience.
Yeah.
And we're talking about how maybe it could go a different way.
Yeah. Or when they invite you into their thing.
Yeah.
That I am thinking of a kiddo that I was sitting for, and he was sharing about something that he had learned about like using a potato for energy, and that you need this, that, and the other to like wire it up. And then I was sharing with his mom that he told us, and she was like, wow, he must have really been listening when he came and asked me about that, because he was genuinely curious, and so he absorbed it all.
Yeah.
And so it's just really cool to like see that actually happen.
Yeah.
And then also, like you said, in ourselves, it's once we actually pursue it and experience it.
And again, I think so much of it comes back to trusting kids, because as they're doing their work, they're going to utilize the tools they have available to them. So let's be a tool that's available to them so that when they have curiosity going in this direction, they feel they can come and ask us to help deepen their learning.
Yeah. And then
attune
to when they say, that's enough. Like I always like when Big Henry comes to you and asks you something or invites you in, and then you start sharing, and then after about 20-25 words, he turns around and goes, and you like finish out your thought, and you're like, and he's gone. Because he got what he needed from you.
Yeah.
Whatever it was that he was seeking, he got it. Yeah. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Okay, shifting back into protecting work of adults.
Yeah.
Protecting work of grown-ups. I almost brought this as my trinket today. But then I was like, no, we're talking about this the episode, so the whole trinket would just become the episode. Again, a few, like 2 weekends ago, my mom and my sister came over to help me like do a deep decluttering of the house, and we got quite a bit done. And like over the like week after that, like I worked pretty hard to like try to
Maintain.
finish, well, yeah, and like finish
Oh yeah.
tidying
Type
up
of
all the
things and
extra
everything.
things.
Yeah.
And then 2 days ago, I left to go do something in the evening and came home, or in the morning, I don't know, at some point. And I came home and Tyler, my husband, was home with E. And I came home and like her play, her work had exploded all over my work.
Mm-hmm.
And then I sat with that resentment for 2.5 days. And every time I walked past the giant pile of things that were all over my work, I felt so about it. And also, like, I value kids' play and their work so highly that I part of that protecting work for me is not necessarily, and I think it's probably, it's like some developmentally appropriate stuff coming in, is to, like you said, have the cleanup be a request, not a demand. And to, like, I always try really hard not to clean up behind my kid as she's playing,
Yeah.
because I don't want her to feel like her work is a burden on me.
Mm-hmm.
And so as I was like stewing about this, and today when I finally with this like came to my family and I used the nonviolent communication framework,
Great.
I noticed that when I finished cleaning the house and your play goes all over the clean house and it stays there
Mm-hmm.
for many days and it's not being actively played with, I feel upset. I feel mad. And like that because my need for my work being protected,
Mm-hmm.
that's not on the list of needs, but it feels like
I think it's just a different flavor of respect.
yeah, like I agree, especially with your working definition of respect.
Yeah. But I prefer the specificity of my work being protected.
Yeah.
Because that's, I mean, isn't that?
That's what it is.
It's like consideration.
I think there's consideration in there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, my need for my work to be protected, for the consideration and respect, is not being met.
Yeah.
And my request is that maybe we can work on cleaning this up together tonight. And I'm not willing to do it on my own.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I am not willing to do it. And I was met with, well, that's too bad, Mom. That's your work, not mine. My work is here. Yours is to go clean up. And then there's a happy ending to this, I swear.
I'm so activated.
Oh no!
It's instant, isn't it?
Oh,
because that happened in your home, but because of all of the times that it has happened in mine, and how much it is like.
Oh, it's awful. It feels so bad. And
I feel devalued.
I was sitting on the couch.
Am I worthless? It's not for cleaning.
And that's Tyler looked over and he's like, "You okay?" And I was like, "No." He's like, "Well, one of us needs to make dinner." I was like, "Go for it." And he's like, "Well, then you're gonna need to clean." I'm like, "I'm not cleaning." I just sat there. I bit my tongue, dealt with my own just like committing to the like feeling in that.
Yeah.
And without raging at my kid, like not taking that out onto her.
Yeah.
And she goes back into her play. And after about 10 or 15 minutes, she comes up to me and says, this is a completely self-chosen activity that she's done in the past. That's not one that like we actually prescribe to, that we have modeled for her, but it's one that she just has created, is that she will be like, "I'll do a chore if you give me a coin for every chore that I do." And I was like, I don't feel willing to give you coins.
Yeah.
And so, like, I really, like, I checked in with myself and I was like, no, that still feels really bad. And like, sure, I could analyze that from here till forever, but that's what happened.
Yeah.
That's where I was at. And then she was like, fine, then I'm gonna make my own coins.
You go, Glen Coco.
She goes and gets paper and scissors and pencil, brings them into the family room, cuts a bunch of paper, brings them to me and says, Mom, here's my coins. Tell me what to do. Tell me what to clean. I was like, can I help you? And she's like, no, just give me the coins and tell me the things you want me to clean. And she came and she like cleaned up the entire living room that had toys from everywhere got dumped. Like she brought things from all different rooms. She had dumped one basket, loaded it into a backpack, like total ferret behavior.
Yes.
In
That's been
parentheses,
going on for so long, and I love it. Yes. We both are quite fond of the ferret behavior.
It's a play schema. It's
Yes.
valuable. Even if it wasn't, it's still valuable. And went through that and like cleaned up the whole room. I was like, okay, I think I'm done now. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, you don't have the energy to do the other room tonight? No, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I feel like this feels like my work was protected,
Yeah.
and I hope that your work felt protected because you were able to do it.
Yeah.
And it was just such a cool, like,
Yeah.
we
Full
got
circle,
there.
kind of.
It was messy. It was ugly. I wish I did things differently. I wish that we didn't go through the whole, like,
It's so
no, Mom,
comfortable.
that doesn't matter. Your work doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But that was just her working through
Yeah.
her feelings of, and it's hard to say, like, I don't want to speak on her behalf, but if I'm guessing, there is some sort of, it was too much for her to take in that moment and absorb and be
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, sure, let's definitely collaborate right now.
Yeah.
Because, like, she got activated, and that's why it came out that way. But there's something in that I think speaks to this idea of protecting work being a family value and a family agreement,
Mhm.
and her knowing how fiercely I will protect her work, and her being willing to offer that to me
Mhm.
when she gets there, you know?
Yeah. And there's so much about this that's like developmentally appropriate expectations.
Totally.
And there's so much about it that is not making our kids responsible for our needs.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to say the quiet part out loud. So much of my frustration about my children not protecting my work is actually about my partner not protecting my work.
Mm-hmm.
Or other adults. Just keep it vague.
Yeah. Even myself sometimes.
not
Like, sometimes
protecting
I
my
won't even
work.
protect my own work.
Yeah.
Like, I won't stand up
There's
for my
a
own work.
self-abandonment
Yeah.
component, or devaluing my own work by not prioritizing it in plenty of moments.
Mm-hmm.
And so there is so much of that, I don't want this for them.
Mhm.
I want it for me because I enjoy having a nice space.
Yeah.
I enjoy having a space that's not overwhelming to me,
Mm-hmm.
that serves up peace for me
Mm-hmm.
when I'm at home. And I want that for them too.
Mm-hmm.
And so cleaning up after them, a lot of the times it is just this process of acknowledging who the want is for, where the effort can come from. And I love inviting them into that
Mm-hmm.
because I value your effort.
Mm-hmm.
You're a fantastic teammate.
Yeah.
I love it when we can tackle things together because it goes so much faster and then we get
It
back to play.
Feels better.
it
We get to be
feels
in
really
connection.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's knowing that when I already have low capacity and I don't have things that I can resource from effectively enough, and I'm overstimulated by my environment because it's just gotten so much, then it's, hey, partner, please take the kids
Mm-hmm.
somewhere so that I can clean up this space.
Yeah.
Because if I do it with anybody else, I am already so activated. I can feel all of it already churning in me.
Yeah.
It's gonna be one of those scenarios where the best I can do is do no harm. And the reality is probably I will yell.
Yeah.
Probably somewhere in there, I will turn to yelling or shaming or something.
Mm-hmm.
And just acknowledging that reality, because it is a loaded topic.
Totally.
For me, especially,
Me
I
too,
think for
yeah.
everybody. And it's just, again, it comes so much back to acknowledging what's real there.
Mm-hmm.
I wish it weren't that way. I feel silly every time I flip out over a messy room. I am so full of shame. And I try and move into like some self-compassion, but it feels, how did I just move into yelling over dirty laundry being all over the floor? And it took, when I just did the task, it took me 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And how am I moving into this place where I'm like now have created a rupture with my kids that I now have to come back and apologize for?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not the first time. And it's how is that happening? And it's that's just real for so many people. And I wish it were not that way. And I have just needed to move into accepting that this is an area where I need to handle myself with kid gloves and in a very respectful way.
Yeah. Parentheses, with respect.
Yeah, but like acknowledge that there is like, a younger version of me that is just ready to have a meltdown about
the dirty laundry
all
on
of
the
it.
ground.
Yeah. And so it's not making that my kids thing. It's not continuing the cycle to make that their fear that they're gonna help clean because they need to placate mom, make sure mom doesn't get angry.
Yeah.
It's like, and this is a great place, I think. For me, it's actually really helpful to, I talked about this before, go into like the toddler stomping around mode. I don't want to do it. And that's what's really here is like, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
If I don't, no one will. And it moves into like, the things that come up when I'm cleaning, nobody cares about me in this house. How in my own family does nobody care about me? Because, there's so much to unpack there. Yeah. But that's what feels so real in those moments sometimes. And it's like, it's just, it's just challenging.
As I was driving over here, thinking about that we were going to be talking about this and that this like at home had just happened. And I was thinking about this idea of protecting work being a family value. Yeah. And like you said, it's a non-negotiable, but kind of like for kids. Kind of. Yes. But like when we include ourselves in it, sometimes. Yeah. And also like we have to use that discernment of like sometimes there are things that do take another value. Like one time we talked about hierarchy of values. Yeah, like
body safety is going to be protecting each other's work.
Exactly.
Like, no, Big Henry, it's not going to be cool if you hit your brother because he didn't protect your work.
Yeah. Or because your work is hitting your brother.
Right. Yes. No.
Body slamming is not the work right now.
Suit up in cushionry.
Then
make that your work.
Cushionry. I love that. Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know, I think even just like what you were saying, that reflecting on not wanting to make it our kids' job to tiptoe around, and because I know how bad that feels. Yeah. We always had the, oh God, mom's coming home. Need to clean the house. Yeah. Where we would like take the baby stroller and make fake vacuum lines in the carpet because like that's how important it was to quote unquote protect my mom's work. And I don't want that to be the feeling for E. And so like definitely reflecting on how I could have like And then walking away for a little
Yeah.
bit probably would have been better than when I was like super activated at home.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
And this is an area where I think it's one of those things we can't operate from the idealized version of how we would handle mess
Mhm.
and how much we value play, because the reality is
There's a tipping point where the environment is no longer conducive to play
and for
or
me,
relationship.
I want to be able to offer consistency over the unlimited access to their own work.
Mm-hmm.
I want to offer consistency and safety of experience.
Mhm.
And so sometimes that means coming back to that sturdiness and like coming in with more limits early on. Hey guys, I really value the work that you're doing. I also want to protect my work of XYZ. Can we make an agreement
Mm-hmm.
that we're just going to do this? And if it goes beyond that, I'm going to come in. Just
Mhm.
because I want to protect my work too.
Yeah.
And I really do want, and if we need to, there's all sorts of negotiation places you can go from there, and the
Mhm.
spectrum of consent is a great place to start in with that, and
Yeah.
how to frame up that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, this feels really important. If you know, and sometimes it's stuff that we can put in there too, of like, I know play meanders, I
Yeah.
know it spreads into things we didn't quite expect.
Yeah.
I want you to be able to go,
And, like, follow that.
yeah, and not feel like you're gonna take it too far,
Yeah.
So can we move it outside?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
so it's just that, yeah, it is weighing all of these different things,
Yeah.
which is an adult's job because prefrontal cortex.
Because PFC.
And we can teach. This is a great place to help model and coach towards self-reflection and kind of, self-regulation as they get older. I can do a little bit of this with Big Henry.
Mm-hmm.
Not like, I have some concerns. Can you guess what they might be?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Do you have any? And yeah, kind of starting to do some of that himself. And that's where he goes, hey, I wish I would have waited till I was moving a little more slow, because I made a huge thing.
Yeah.
That now when I feel the self-responsibility of cleaning up from it, it feels like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
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 A lot of intersecting
Mm-hmm.
points there.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of if there's anything else that does that feel.
Yeah, that feels wrapped up. I
Anything.
mean, I think that this topic just meanders into so many different
Other
areas. Yeah.
But just that language is so powerful. Before we do questions for the road, can I ask for a vulnerable clarification as a friend?
Yes. Sure.
I feel terrified.
Do you want to hold hands?
I'm not gonna look at you. When, like, after I shared about my situation at home today, and then you went into talking about how, like, the way that I perceived it or like received it was not a judgment, but like I flipped what you then said around on myself. I was like, oh, I did it wrong.
Oh, no.
And I don't, I don't think that that's what you were doing. I know your intentions, and I know that, like, for me and my brain, that just asking for the clarification right away is better than waiting months and thinking that you're just waiting for me to catch up in reference to the old one.
Oh my gosh, no.
So I'm gonna ask for clarification right now.
How it went in my brain. You were talking about that, and I was putting myself in your shoes, and I was going to the place of like, okay, and what things do I, like, where do I get, once I have time to slow down, there is that is part of my queue of things to go through, like, whose work is it really?
Yeah.
And the answer is sometimes it does need to be both of our work. That's part of, like, the relational, like, shared space piece. That's part of our, like, stretch zone. And one of the things at the end of the day for me that helps me to get to the place where I can go, like, okay, this is for me. I do want this. It's sometimes there are those scenarios where if I'm committed to saying in this moment, it's truly a request and not a creative demand, we're going to find a way to work together.
Yeah.
Those are different scenarios. Sometimes it is, hey guys, I'm not willing and we're going to do this together one way or another.
How do you want it to
be? Yes. And sometimes it is, I value more than I value us working on it together and encouraging the personal responsibility piece. I value having this clean space.
Yeah.
And so in those moments, I'm not going to move into like a forced place. Sometimes I will, but like it comes down to capacity for me.
Yeah.
So much. Of like, if I have capacity to help go into that, we're going to tackle this together place, then we'll do that route. And sometimes I know I'm going to do harm if we go down that route. And so I just need to do the thing and help make my environment better. Yeah. And one of the things that I do in that moment is to remind myself, go to the place of like, this one is not their work. Yeah. This one, I'm just gonna, it is for me. And sometimes I will like want to pull you in. Yeah. But if I can't do that safely in that moment. Does that clarify?
I think so, yeah.
Because it was not coming from a place of judgment.
Yeah.
It was like running that kind of scenario in all the different ways.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I didn't take it that way. I just wanted to like ease the part of my brain that would have like spun out about it. Yeah. And that does ease it because like I knew where you were coming from. Yeah. But just hearing it is helpful.
Yeah. Okay, I'm glad.
And I think that that there is, like, when I look back on that scenario, there are, like, so many ways that it could have gone.
Yeah,
and, exactly. Like, whether or not
there's one of so many different flavors.
Yeah, and who knows what the quote-unquote best one is.
Right.
I'm glad I didn't go the route of being like, no, you're helping me right now, and standing behind her and hand over handing resentfully.
Like, done that one
because I was gonna say, because I've fallen down that route. And, like, could I have waited until I got home tonight and then done a check-in with Tyler? Like, yeah, of course I could have. But also we got to this place and there was. Yeah. And so it was for that like one part of me that started to be like, wrong.
Thank you for bringing it up.
Yeah,
thank you for bringing it up.
Thanks for having the safe enough space to do it.
Yeah. Now I'm sitting back, I'm like, I'm gonna go back and watch the recording and be like,
oh no.
Yeah. I can see where I did that.
I don't even know that it necessarily was that. Again, sitting here, I know your intentions. I know that that's not how you approach anything and even if I was like, and then I handed Emma, even if I was sitting here being like, and then I handed E and like forced her to do it, that you still wouldn't be coming from a place of judgment. You still see me with like no wrongness and so it was just for that part of me that is like, oh God.
Yeah.
Being perceived in a vulnerable moment.
I think sharing about the whole thing feels very open. It feels very vulnerable anyways. And I know, I think the subtext that was in there is like, I know we talk about, this is one of those things that comes up all the time.
Yeah. Because
of like my mishandlings of things and I'm bringing that to you a lot, and I know that for me it's like, it's just sharing that the checklist, it emerged in that moment because I'm thinking, okay, this is a moment where it's like when it's hysterical, it's historical. There's more here, just like in our rupture that we just had, our last episode about, there's more here than what's happening in this moment.
Yes. And like me feeling so triggered by the house being...
Yeah.
It's not that my kid doesn't respect me. It's not that my kid doesn't care about me.
Right.
That's just how it feels.
Yeah.
And that means that there's more here.
Yeah. And it's, there's so much nuance and there's a million, we were talking about at the beginning, sometimes we are prioritizing the fully child-led work and sometimes there is work, and I view that in that category of like, this is really, that was a personal accountability that was feeding that. I don't
Yeah.
know if that's of value
Yeah.
on your guys' list.
Yeah, like personal responsibility is one of ours. We like call it follow through.
Yeah.
But yeah, follow through is one of ours, and
Yeah.
that like owning up with like
Yeah.
like looking around and being like, oh yeah, like
Yeah.
following up with this. And yeah, and there's so many like precursors that I didn't need to stew on it for 2.5 days. I could have like started pitching it to like she didn't know.
Right.
She didn't know that I was stewing on it for 2 days. So like yeah, there's so much self-reflection in it, but
Yeah.
I don't think I'm unhappy with the way that it went.
Yeah.
I'm just curious about all the other ways that it could have gone too.
And that's where that list was coming.
Yeah.
I was like, and for those moments that you find yourself identifying with that experience,
Yeah.
but you want a different outcome,
Mhm.
but you want to take a different approach, then like here's the things that I look at for like shifting my own perspective on things.
Mhm.
It's one of the many pathways
Yeah.
you can go down
Yeah.
for when you just gotta find a different way to look at it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
The nagging, like the
There was a no wrongness.
the wrong
No wrong.
voice in my head is completely settled. Like that part is like, okay. And
Okay,
so
great.
we're good. Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah.
Do we want to do questions for the road?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do that.
I think per usual, my question that is coming up is super tangible.
Yeah.
And actionable. This like bring and also awareness oriented. That's where I always go.
Wonder why.
Yeah, I know.
Almost like we're a conscious parenting
Oh,
podcast.
Almost. I know. Like awareness is the whole thing.
It's almost like that's the most important part.
Is finding moments to observe your kid, people in general, other kids, like if you're out at a park or a play date, and seeing if you can frame what they're doing as their work.
Yeah.
And notice if notice if there's a shift in the way that you feel about what it is that they're doing.
Yeah.
And if it feels easier to then protect their work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Love that question. I'll be thinking on that. My curiosity right now
Mm-hmm.
is introducing the polyvagal piece into it, because hard work and intense play is in that mobilized state,
Mm-hmm.
is in that sympathetic state where we're actually not like necessarily in our best for connecting with other people place when we're in deep work. And so with that in mind, how does that change the way that you think about your work? Like, no wonder it's such a hot topic. No wonder it's like such a fiery, loaded topic. And no wonder, like, I think we can all imagine those moments where we've tried to interrupt our kids' work.
Yeah.
And all these strategies of like connect first and then redirect.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, because like they're in that sympathetic state. Hey guys, not quite done yet. I'll be done in just a few minutes. Please protect my work. Understanding that it's a sympathetic state. It's a blended state, but it's a sympathetic state.
Yeah.
And it's just how that would change the way that we approach engaging with
Kids in deep work.
Yeah. Or ourselves.
Or yeah.
Giving ourselves like a cool, like even the cleaning thing of when I have to clean,
Yeah.
I let myself go there. It's very effective. And then like I probably need an off ramp
Mm-hmm.
before to like come back into connection,
Yeah.
so that I don't translate that energy into the anger and rage and fight
When the
energy. Yeah.
inevitably happens.
Yeah. Giving myself time to just like,
Mhm.
it's actually become a really cool part of the process with the kids, because I had one of those moments where it was like, guys, your room is one giant pile.
Yeah. There's no
I
carpet in here.
yeah, I'm not willing to tackle this on my own, friends. We're gonna have to find a way to work through this together.
Yeah.
And through that process, I was trying to move into like the teacher mode. Like, I would like to teach you how to do this on your own so that you can, when you feel compelled to, so that you can, just so that you have the skill and the choice in the matter.
Yeah.
Because right now you don't even have the skill because you're not empowered with the skill.
Yeah.
And so it was sitting through and doing that. And one of the things that I've been teaching them more explicitly is the like, okay, now we've made progress. I'm starting to feel overwhelmed. So I'm going to stop and I'm going to look at what I've already done.
Mm.
And it's that moment of like taking a minute to just settle into the rest and digest of it all.
Yeah.
That's why I'm doing it, because I don't want to stay in chronic activation because my environment is stressing me out and my nervous system is perceiving it as a threat. It's like, allow yourself to move into the rest and digest of it along the way. And I've been seeing Big Henry model that as he's been doing his own thing. It's just so cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, like how would it change when you incorporate the polyvagal stuff? And I think next week's episode, our next episode, will be on polyvagal theory more deeply. So, a little preview.
Check it on that.
Yeah. That feels complete.
That feels very complete. Protect the work, man.
Yeah. Love it.
All right. I'm getting the knocks. Bye.
Bye. Hey, we know time is hard to come by. Thanks for spending some of yours with us. And remember, you can always reach out. We're real people and we're interested in what's real for you too. Do you have questions or feedback? Anything you'd like to hear a chat on? Check the show notes for where to find us.